I own a surprisingly large number of books published in the 40s and decades slightly before and slightly after for someone of my age, I imagine. And I've read not that many of them, but I have read this book, The Dark Wood by Christine Weston. And it's probably the one I picked up most recently. I picked it up at a thrift store for really that way overpriced price of $3.99, but I was intrigued by the idea. This is shortly after World War II ends, and it's based on a true story, according to this, which you can pause in your own time. It says that she was at a cafe or something and happened to see someone who resembled a friend of hers who had died in the war. And so she creates a character who has a similar situation. Only in this case, it's not a friend, it's her husband. The book is pretty good, I gotta say. Pretty good. It is, according to what it says here, this is it's an American story handled with the dexterity and subtlety of Henry James, although that's actually referring to a different novel of hers. And she's supposed to be a great psychological novelist, which, of course, is a term that gets bandied about, but I think probably in 1946 when this book came out, it was at its peak. It's kind of like the way we use literary fiction today. So Ms. Weston here throws these characters into motion, and it, on the rough outlines of it, it's essentially a melodrama. However, what she does with the characters is, it's what we mean when we say psychological novel in the nicest possible sense. It's interior, it has a lot of depth and breadth, even if the characters are living a very melodramatic sort of life with coincidences and lookalikes and etc., etc. Villains that are, because it's a psychological novel, slightly less villainous, no actual mustache twirling. So the real question is, as I often think when I read books like this, does it deserve to have been forgotten? Is this a classic? With so many books that we put out, most books will be forgotten. And I would love to say that I've found a true masterpiece that shouldn't have been forgotten, but I can't. However, I did find a really good book. I enjoyed it a lot. Dark Wood by Christine Weston. Nice little psychological novel from 1946. So if you're sick of all the boys from back then, and you're looking for another girl, she's a good start. If you're looking for something set in New York that is not New Yorker-y, it's a good place to look. If you're looking for something that's in Maine that doesn't involve terrors and frights of the Stephen King variety, well, Miss Weston may be your person of interest. All I can say is, I read it, and I liked it, and come pick it up. I'll give it to you. The end.